What is happening, brother?
Chilling, bro. I'm glad. Thanks for having me.
Man, honored. Absolutely honored. Shout out to Mr. Toland, who's on here too. Got a bunch of our men joining us, and shout out to Mr. Toland because he's like, hey man, we've got it. We get to do this every week. He's like, dude, we got to have this guy. If you don't know, and I jumped into your stuff, and I'm going, holy hell, we
Ooh,
absolutely.
thanks, brother. I appreciate the shout out,
Oh man, it's huge. Where are you in the world, brother? Remind me.
dude. I'm in like Temecula area, so kind of between LA and San
Oh yeah,
Diego, in
yeah,
like wine country, kind of
yeah,
in
yeah.
the desert a little bit.
Yeah, I'm from California originally. I'm in the mountains of North Carolina now, but I'm originally from California. Been out here for 3 years, but California born and raised before that, so I know Temecula very well.
Yeah, we'll be making a shift here too, so we'll all be going out to the mountains. I'm going up to northern Idaho here in October. We bought a house up there.
Good for you, man. That's rad.
Yeah,
That's a good
yeah,
spot, man.
yeah. It's better for the just as you know, California is just complicated now, man, and it's only getting more so.
It is, man. It's a weird world. It's not the same place I grew up in, man. So yeah,
No, no,
Idaho's a
it's
good
not.
spot. Good for you,
Yeah.
brother. Oh,
Yeah.
dude.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's awesome. Well, dude, I'm excited. We get to do this, we get to do this every week with just some of the best men on the planet. And
This is cool, man. I like this setup.
dude, it's so fun. And I shot you that email yesterday with some of the guys that you and I have a bunch of mutual friends
Yeah.
or at least mutual connections
Yeah.
to. We've gotten to do this for years, and it's the freaking best to get to do it, man. So we just get to dive into you and everything you're doing and building and all the stuff you're excited about. And then we got a bunch of like-minded guys that'll come in for a little Q&A on the back end of the hour. And so easy day.
Very cool, man. I dig it.
Yeah, super cool. Man, I was looking at, like I said, shout out to Mr. Tolan as I started diving into your whole transfer or not even transformation story is probably not even the right way to say it. Like there's just the evolution, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, unreal. Now I'm gonna tell. I don't know if anybody's ever said this. So Legionnaire, Navy SEAL. I know you're the only one to ever do that, but dude, Jean-Claude Van Damme has played both. Like, let's just be honest.
Yeah, dude.
Dude,
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
played
And he's
both.
also done some hand to hand blood sports, bro. So he's got an edge on me, bro.
I mean, he's got an edge on you, dude. He did.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think he was homeless and hard target. He was an
Yeah.
inmate, like in some film. So, dude, you may just be.
Yeah.
Is he trying to be Taylor, or are you trying to be the real Van
Oh,
Damme? I don't
dude.
know. I don't know what
Jean
you're doing.
Claude takes the cake, dude.
John Claude does take the cake, man. Yeah, that's rad, man. I was looking to start again, dude. Just so freaking crazy these highs and lows, and I love every bit of how you're showing up in the world now, man, and helping others through it.
Thank you.
What what was the just and this is pure curiosity on my
Yeah.
side too for everybody. Like what was that spark of clarity for you where you're like, dude, I got to change everything.
Dude, I was in a suicidal state.
Yeah.
Really, it was that low to where, and maybe some of the men on this have felt that, but it was everything had broken down around me, and I had nothing left. I thought, right?
Yeah.
I thought, and I had no money. That
Yeah.
was all gone. No relationship, no job, no title, which really was what
Mhm.
I hadn't really fixed yet. I needed the title, man, to make me feel good about myself, whether it be CEO or CEO or whatever. Something to point to that put a band-aid on my identity.
Yeah.
And that was ripped off. And so I had this like exposed kind of, and I was homeless living in my truck, and I had this, and this was the spark. This wasn't actually what kind of corrected it. It was
Right.
just put me on the trajectory of I got to pick my pen back up and write it. And that's when I went into the Foreign Legion. And it was a couple years into the Legion, or about a year and some change, to where I realized that that wasn't going to fix it either, and that
Yeah.
I was still there. And that's when I really started to structure. Oh, it's my daily habits that are
Yeah.
the only thing that can make me confident about who I am, and
Yeah.
that's where the change really happened. But the catalyst was the suicidal rock bottom, and then it was being there and realizing that that was just the facade, a new title that didn't fix anything, and I still was having some of the similar problems and stuff, and
That
that's
makes
really
sense.
where I fixed it. Yeah.
That makes sense, man. Did you have anybody around you speaking into you at that point? And again, I'm sure you've spoken about this a billion times, and so I apologize. I don't have all the details on
No,
this.
I've actually never had that question asked. No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
nobody's ever.
nobody was anybody around you at that point? Did you have people speaking life into you?
There was. It was. I was looking on YouTube, man, and stuff like that, and just coming across guys and information that I resonated with. Some guys who were in prison who kind of were coming out speaking in a certain way that I was new to me, and it was talking about universal laws and kind of stoic philosophy. And then I started reading. I really used my own research and going into the old Stoics and even samurai philosophers, and this common thread of stuff kept coming up: discipline wake ups, discipline, right? And this accountability piece. And that's really, and I really started getting into like Zen proverbs and stuff, just
Yeah.
for the simple fact that out of need, because there's a lot of assholes in the Foreign Legion, man, who are challenging human beings to deal with. And I had to figure out a way to not get worked up over the frustrating reality of where I was at, of dealing with idiots and this, and being kind of disrespected, and learning, okay, well, what is this situation here to teach me? And then where I'm at is exactly where I need to be. And that was a paradigm shift of when I just owned that.
Yeah. Did you start combining those Stoics with, Musashi and the Bushido Code and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff? You become a dangerous individual right there because of what's in here.
Yeah. And it was allowing me to bring calm to the chaos externally.
Right.
And then once I could center my own energy, I was really starting to have good days every day. And the external variables weren't affecting me as much.
Yeah, I like that, man. So I want to talk about what you're saying with the habits, and you've used the word identity too, and that's a word we talk
Yeah.
about incessantly over here. And I want to talk about the relationship there, but curiosity before we get there too. Why the Legion? What was it about the Legion that drew you? Because most people growing up in America, I mean, we don't, dude. If I hadn't have seen Legionnaire with Van Damme,
Yeah.
like I don't know if I'd have known what it was until much later in life, right? So like,
Yeah.
what was it about the Legion?
It was the only place it would fucking take me.
Okay. Oh, there, dude. That'll do it.
It was the only
Yeah.
place left. So there was a little bit of need there, quite literally, because I had painted myself into a corner financially
Yeah.
where I needed food and shelter fast.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and so there was that weird, really just reality. And then also I found out about the Legion. I think as a young kid, just being interested in the military world, I probably stumbled across them reading some books. And then later it became way more prevalent when I was getting out of jail in my early 20s, trying to get in the military. So I went to jail to get off probation so I could actually attempt to get in the military. And I was getting turned down by branches. I got turned down by the Marines for tattoos, the Army for criminal background stuff. No felonies. I don't have anything crazy, but just a lot of dumb shit, right? And the Navy was the only one that would take me. But it was in that process where I was like, I'm getting turned down by branches. I can't even enlist. Okay, maybe the Foreign Legion is an option. And then the Navy took me, and so that kind of got shelved. But I was
Gotcha.
aware of it. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. And so for those that aren't, because we got a couple buddies that are some teams guys, and we've had a few teams guys come in too.
Yeah.
SEALs, Legions. What is there a similar vibe in terms of testing mental limits? Do you look at one and go, one tested those more than the other? One was more physical, one was more mental. How do you compare the two?
So I'm talking to Marcus Luttrell, and he was saying we were talking about this, and he said something funny. He goes, it seems like the Legion and the SEAL teams were like oranges and apples and cement. Like they're just two different things.
Yeah.
And the physically more challenging SEAL selection by far.
Okay.
Right. Once you get into the SEAL teams, the daily life is much better, right? Because it's hard, right? You train hard and you do stuff, but just your reality is better. The Foreign Legion was very hard psychologically and physically, but it was more because you've lost everything. You're isolated and alone. Everything's in a foreign language. You're shark shit on the bottom of the ocean. So that was it. And SEALs is special operations. The Foreign Legion is highly trained infantry. So it's a completely different philosophical approach. The daily life in the Legion is much harder. It's just rough.
Yeah.
Low. You're not fed a lot. It's just kind of a low fun. It's just one of those rough areas. You got a lot of Eastern Bloc guys who are leadership, who push that Eastern Bloc tone into the culture, and so it just makes it kind of a cold, harsh place.
Super interesting. Okay. So, and is that so when you're talking about those habits earlier, those little mini experiments, is that where you really started to develop those and kind of the mental fortitude? Was there during
Yeah.
that? And that relationship, man, is always, I'm always interested in how people perceive the habits and the identity piece. For you, was it a stacking habits and creating the identity that way, or was it going leaning into an identity and then saying, cool, since I'm leaning into this identity, here are the habits that this guy would do? Like, which one kind of came
You
first?
know, you know what I think? That's a fascinating way to look at it, but it's like one of those infinite signs in that it all actually kind of happens.
Yep.
I had this idea, and I think we all do, and or if we don't, I think it's important, we have this idea of our 10.0 self, of like our who we aspire to be like,
Yeah.
and we all fall short. But we have this idea of like, man, this cool, calm, collected, disciplined motherfucker, successful, fulfilled, that guy. We see it. But then it's like, okay, but the identity has to be created from the habits. So it's
Yeah.
kind of one and the same. It's kind of like chicken or the egg type thing, in that I started doing the habits to gain the identity, but it was really because also I had this identity I wanted to achieve, but I needed the daily habits. So they
Yeah.
kind of was like six in one, half dozen in the other.
Yep.
So it was very important is that I started to build my self-worth off of the daily habits, and are my daily habits and actions aligned with the outcome I want.
Yeah.
That was an important piece for alignment. And once I kind of did that, now I felt better because I felt like aligned. Not
Yeah.
felt, I was. And
Yeah.
being aligned is massively helpful.
Yeah. If you're not, everybody else feels it.
Everybody,
Right.
you're stacking karmic debt on yourself, or
Yeah.
you're just dragging friction because you're aspiring, or even in just the subconscious way, you know where you want to be, but you're not doing the shit that gets you there. You're
Yeah.
not going to feel, you're going to be by definition out of alignment.
Yeah, 100%. I like that, man. I like the way I like that visual of that infinity sign and just kind of
Yeah.
the yin and the yang on that. Because I think you're right. It is one feeds the other and they're feeding each other simultaneously.
Yeah. Yeah. They have to.
Yeah, they very much do. I love that, man. So as you're building that guy out, right? Well, maybe then and now, as you started kind of making that connection, we're like, I know you're saying the Stoic philosophy, you're talking about diving into some of
Yeah.
the Zen proverbs and all of those things too, where they're specific habits and specific maybe individuals that you were looking towards then, and then the same thing now. Like, are they a similar set of habits and people that
Yeah.
you're looking at, or is that has that kind of evolved?
It's evolved.
Yeah,
It's for sure evolved. I still find benefit in some of the people I looked at before, but now
yeah,
it's a little bit different. And I needed some baseline information too on the physical side. So I had to like reach out to people and stuff. I was like, I'm a SEAL, I'm a Legionnaire. No one can teach me how to eat and train. But the truth was, in my 30s, what I did in my 20s wasn't working
yeah,
the same. And so I needed information on macronutrients and some specific shit, because I knew I wanted to look a certain way and I just was not there.
yeah,
And I was kind of peaking, and so I reached out, and that was a game changer because I didn't know anything about macronutrients. And
yeah,
so that changed my game because it also brought a level of control and then results, which kept that momentum going, which started to align with how I saw myself, which was disciplined. And I just needed more understanding about food on a
yeah,
very basic level. Like, oh, just that was a good foundation for me because now I felt like I was really owning my physical side. I always kind of trained, but I just didn't really click it all together
yeah,
in a serious way. So getting serious about that was helpful. And then more on the philosophical side, I like guys like Alan Watts and guy, old,
yeah.
but even motivational guys like Jim Rohn.
Sure.
I love
OGs.
those. I just pull so many good nuggets from those guys, and was just using this. I would just put it all in this pot and just using
Yeah,
it to kind of funnel, and then just structuring those daily habits deep.
I love that, man. Yeah, Watts is fantastic. Um,
Yeah,
Akira the Don? You ever seen
yeah,
Akira? Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, he does. So he's got a couple, he does the meaning wave or whatever he calls his stuff
yeah.
that he creates, man. Fascinating dude. And he's come on with us before too, but he's got a couple of really cool things where he uses Watts, he uses some Jim Rohn, he goes back into some of those OGs, man. He does some good
Yeah,
stuff.
I love those old guys because it's amazing because it's this it's the same information. It's just packaged differently. And
Yeah.
I find that universal wisdom that we kind of plug into, people kind of that collective
Yeah.
unconscious is so powerful, in that we're all downloading information up, right? We're all experiencing things and putting stuff into this collective wisdom, and then being able to pull from that. It's since antiquity. It's a similar flow. So why not apply these principles why recreate the wheel? Do this
Yeah.
shit that people have proved have worked for a really long time,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
be deliberate and decisive about it. Not like try to stumble across your day. You have got to put deliberate energy into the system to get out what you need. It's like you wake up and everything's just reactive. It's like, okay, it's reactive. And I was that way. And then I was like, oh, that's really not working. And then just being deliberate about everything, not a robot, right? Not a
Yeah.
fucking robot, but just more deliberate.
And I love, so I've heard that word that you use. That's one of the words that I wrote down as I've been diving into your stuff is deliberate. We always say intentional, but you're saying it's
Yeah,
exactly
intentionality is a great
right.
word too.
Right?
I love that.
Same
Intentional.
thing. So what is a deliberate? Because it is, I find myself doing this. I'm very deliberate, very intentional on what every day looks like. I get up at a certain time, I go to bed at a certain time, and as much as I can control it, I
Mhm.
have every minute mapped out of what I want to do during the day. Now, I live on a freaking farm, and if a tree falls down and
Yeah,
goes
gotta
through,
handle it.
goes through my fence, and then well, shit, sideways, and now I'm gonna go change what my
Yeah,
looks like today, right? Like that, it's time to lumberjack now. So like
yeah,
you can't control everything, obviously, but
yeah,
it found the more deliberate you are about that schedule, has it given you more of a peace, and then you're able to be flexible when things change? Like, how was that transition for you from being a more reactive human to more deliberate? Like, how was that
yeah,
mentally? Because I know guys struggle with that.
yeah. When you eliminate the chaos and you eliminate a lot of the external variables, you have more ability to action things. And that was really helpful for me in just having a much more structured day.
Mm,
Not super crazy structured. Like I'm not super like spreadsheeting out my stuff, but I have a very specific wake up process and time, and that even leaving, and I have obviously my work and schedule during the day that I like to adhere to and training and stuff, but just doing that morning has set me up so massively. And if people don't know where to start, and this is a really good question, I go start with the morning, or at least start with your wake up, structuring that, getting up early as shit. So you give yourself more time. It's quite
yeah,
literally give yourself more time to sit and think and get centered, so that by the time you would normally be getting up, you already have momentum.
yeah,
And now you're already kind of going about your day. And so you got up early, you're doing some shit. Now the tree falls. Okay, well, I was already kind of up and awake. I'm not like waking up to crashing sounds, you know.
yeah,
It's
100%, man.
it's totally a different game. And I just think giving yourself more time, not rushing,
Yeah,
is a big piece. If you're rushing, something's wrong.
something's
If you're
off.
running out the door, or you're in traffic and you're mad and you're trying, you fuck something up. Like
Yeah.
something's wrong here. And that was the thing. If I'm rushing, I know I was wrong somewhere in the day.
Yeah, something's off on that. There's an inefficiency in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that a lot, and I like how you talk about. I don't remember how you just sort of phrase like this, almost like this universal, kind of this universal truth. But what I've with some of the stuff that I've seen you say, you really are alluding to these like what we call kind of like the factory settings, right? Like this is how humans are built, this is how humans are designed, and when things are kind of getting chaotic, some of the ways to get back to calm is to get back to just that design. It's getting back to those basics, getting back to those
Yeah.
fundamentals, right? And I wrote something down in particular, and so I'm gonna bring that up so I can read it. I wrote something that you said. You said I've been through times of expansion and contraction that most will never understand, all self-induced. Self-sabotage, though, is understood by most. Through it all, I always knew a man is never out of the fight until he gives up. We all suffer in the same ways. We experience the same pain. Therefore, the
Yeah.
solutions are the same. The solutions are
Yeah.
basic demonstrations of gratitude
Yeah.
and disciplines of self and body. I love that, man. That
Yeah.
factory settings, right?
Yeah.
So my question is there, so we got a lot of dads on here too, right? And so
Yeah.
men and dads. So we talk about this all the time, going, all right, we're trying to get these men back to these factory settings.
Yeah.
We're trying to raise our kids and raise our young men to preserve the factory settings so
Yeah.
we
And
lose them in
yeah,
the
learn them.
first place, right?
Yeah.
What would that have looked like? Do you think there was a way that it could have looked for you as a youngster, as a teen, to preserve those factory settings and not have to learn the hard way?
Yeah.
Or like, do you ever look back and go, if that, or is it like a shit, I had to learn it this way? What do you think on that?
Yeah, I think I have a client. He was in prison for a long time and got out. Now he's building sober living facilities and very successful. But he says he goes, you don't want to you allow people the full benefit of suffering if they need it,
Mm,
which is a powerful fucking statement.
mm,
But some people need it. Now, that being said, there's a piece of experience, but I would have definitely benefited from a heavier thumb, a more
yeah,
discipline. My dad wasn't really around, and so like as a mom, it was kind of just difficult to manage.
yeah,
And when and so I think just having my dad around, who was a little bit more disciplined, would have helped.
yeah, yeah,
Facts, 100%. Just seeing that example would have been better, but I
yeah,
didn't really see that. And who knows, maybe it wouldn't have changed anything. But yes, I think it would have helped.
yeah.
And the when things start getting more complex and feeling out of control, I always look back. I go, am I doing the just daily basic things correct? And almost always the answer is no. I'm starting to slide on stuff, and I'm
Mm,
starting to backslide. And it's food, it's training. My intensity's dropped in working out, or I'm
mm,
kind of getting lax on the food. My wake up time sliding. Right? It always happens when I start to feel external friction, and so I always go back and like the samurai call it practicing the perfect day, knowing you'll never achieve it. It's like going back and remastering the fundamentals and the basics. Wake up, macros, movement. Are you doing those things rock solid? If you aren't, well, then start there. And then magically things always seem to get better. And
yeah,
that is the piece of just constant. And this is what I'm learning. It's just this constant, even weekly, or, I'm having to go back and really tighten things up. Again, it's like tightening the bolts down or the lug nuts you got to tighten them down again every once in a while. It's
yeah,
just vibrations. Life is vibration, quite literally. And
yeah.
so shit vibrates and it gets loose. And so you got to tighten it back up. And that's that deliberate energy we were talking about.
I'm so glad you said so. I'm literally one of the questions that I wanted to dive at. You just answered it preemptively because I wanted to say like what when somebody is in the chaos or they feel like they're in the chaos, like what's the entry point to rebuild? What is that entry point? What is the question they need to ask themselves when they're spiraling? When you just answer,
Yeah.
that's exactly that. It's like, well, what are the fundamentals? What do those basics look like? How
Yeah.
tight am I on the very basics and fundamental? Just go right back to that foundation and get tight right there on those little daily disciplines, man.
Yeah.
That's really it.
Yeah. And I always say, when guys will ask, like, macronutrients, I go, all right, you kind of feel like you're sliding and you're losing a bit of the control, maybe in your life or a day. I go, fast for 24 hours.
Yeah.
Don't eat for
Yeah.
36 hours. Drink
Yeah.
water and black coffee. It sounds so simple, but there's something that pulls the control back. You just
Yeah.
immediately eliminate a lot of complexity from having to figure some shit out. So you just opened up some time for yourself. It also, the caloric deficit, I find, helps this
Yeah.
to just sharpen you.
Yep.
Leaning into discomfort, it's holding restraint. It's the easy button to just kind of snap back in very quickly. And
Yeah.
then you bring up a good point of, okay, where do I start? And this is why learning a good blueprint is important. Because if someone hasn't really ever established a good one and doesn't know what a good day or a perfect day is supposed to look like, you're not creating it out of thin air. It's not
Yeah.
gonna fucking happen.
Yep.
Because if it's what you've been doing isn't working, then what you think what you're gonna do next isn't gonna work either. And
Right.
so learning, that's why when I reached out to somebody about macros and stuff and some different things, that was helpful because I didn't even really know what I should be doing. So
Yeah.
how the hell there's like the eat healthy thing. I'm gonna start getting my body back. I'm gonna start eating healthy. What the fuck does that mean? I
Yeah.
see fat people at the farmers market all the time. They don't. They're confusing and conflating high quality with health with accurate,
Yep.
and that's not the same. And so when I learned like, okay, what an accurate blueprint looked like, and somebody actually establishes that self, so when they get loose, they know what to snap back to.
Yeah.
That's important. If you don't have where to snap back to, it's almost impossible.
It's that old adage of you don't rise to the occasion, you fall back to the level of your training or whatever that looks like, right?
Facts.
So if you
That,
don't,
that I'm just plugging in. That's absolute facts. It's like you're never rising to any occasion, man. You're gonna fall back to your worst day of training or
that's
your
right.
baseline. That's
That's
just
right.
what it is.
That's right. So then the game becomes continuously leveling up what that baseline is.
Yes.
You do that, that's where it's like, okay, man, during the chaos, I will, if I fall all the way back, I'm only going to fall all the way back to here because my true identity is rooted in this. So that's as far backwards as I can fall. So it's
Yeah.
increasing that baseline, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Rise the tide.
Yeah,
Right.
man.
Rise your tide up to where your standard of
Yeah.
day
Yeah.
is raised. And then, I can't even think back to what some of my days looked like. They were,
Yeah.
dog
Yeah.
shit. It's just not
100%.
just we've all had them, waking up hungover and this and just eating like shit. And like that would be so far down. Like I haven't seen a day like that in a really long time. But I remember what it was, but I also didn't really know what I should be doing.
Yeah.
And so that
Yeah.
was helpful.
Yeah. Who helped you get there on the macro side? That's one of the areas that I love to geek out, around too. And so like who were some of the guys you went to?
Wes Watson.
Oh,
Wes
okay.
Watson
Yeah.
got my shit. Yeah, because I
I
knew
can
him
dial.
before he went to
Yeah.
prison.
Yeah.
And so he's from San Diego and stuff. Guys
Yep.
say what
Yep.
they want about him, but he's
Yep.
he's for me. I mean, I know him personally, so I see a different side of him,
Yeah.
right? And but knows his shit,
Yeah.
man. And he walks the walk.
Yeah.
He walks the walk as far as daily habits. Everybody's got their weak points. Everyone's got the things they need to work on and stuff. But as far as that, almost nobody who's better, at least in what I needed and the
Yeah.
information was helpful for me.
Yep. That's cool, man. Yeah. Wes came in and Wes came in I want to say about a year and a half ago. Had him come in and he and I realized we were born the same day. I'm older, but I think a little
Really?
bit, but
Yeah,
he
bro,
seemed
he's
like
got a really he's deep, dude. I love that dude to death, man. He's got a really, and he goes through his complexities, and when
sure,
you're an agitator, you bring some of the negativity with, but he's got a
sure.
good heart, and is always, he really does like helping people, man.
Yeah, yeah. No, it seemed like it. You mentioned kind of the things you want to work on. And gentlemen, I got a couple more questions in particular that I want to go, but if you guys start having some questions, start popping your hand up. I'll bring you guys in for a little Q&A on this too. And you mentioned some of that, you said we all have our places to work on, and that's, I mean, no truer statement. And so we talk about playing this game of like, look, from we got the fitness side of things, and you got your business side of things, and you got the faith side of things, and we got our family side of things, and a
Yeah,
lot of our husbands, and we got to take care of our wives, and we also got to take care of our kids, and you're always kind of juggling these,
yeah,
trying to keep them up in the air as best
yeah,
you can, right? But sometimes if you're focused over here, this one starts to fall. So like,
yeah,
as you're looking at things for you, what are the areas right now where you're like, okay, I'm trying to bump this one up. Like this is where
yeah.
where I'm trying to improve the most right now.
Yeah, so I'm trying to fix some things on my fitness. Is just another level I want to try to hit.
Yeah.
So that's like the piece that I'm working on, and the business side. Things are going good, but I'm administratively I'm not great. Right?
Yeah.
There's things in my systems and processes I can enhance and get better at.
Yeah.
And formalize more. And so that's a piece that I'll procrastinate on a little bit. Getting my book done. There's pieces there that I find are the thing that falls off the back of the truck by the end of the day, because it's just, the main stuff gets done, but the stuff to really kind of push that next level,
Yeah.
that's the piece that I need to start focusing on more.
That's cool. And are you doing a little speaking from the stage now too?
Yeah.
What do you
Yeah.
like?
So, yeah, I love it. I love speaking from the stage. I like it because there's no hiding.
Yeah, man.
And I like being able to speak to different groups. I speak to prison sometimes, or incarcerated guys, business executives, and I like being able to tailor the message.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fun, man. That's a whole different ball game. Oh, it's
Yeah,
freaking
it is. I like it.
whole different ball game. All right, let's get some of these guys in here. Tyler Wade, looking good, man. All decked out, looking good, sir.
Howdy, howdy. Mr.
Dig
Cavanaugh,
it, man.
thank you for being here. Been following
Yeah,
you for
brother.
a long
Thanks.
time. Really excited.
Cool, bro.
So, quick question. I had two questions, but you pretty well hammered down the first one of routine and building that and having a good day. But
Yeah.
so I know you've transitioned from out of the Navy and then into the Foreign Legion and then out into civilian world
Yeah.
again. Next year, heading out, getting out of back in the civilian world. And I wanted to ask because, that's going to be a lot of life all at once. We got out of the Army into a new job, selling the house, moving across country, buying the new house. And then it's looking like there might be a screaming baby somewhere right around that time frame perfectly. What's your advice for managing all those really big things all at once, and how to lead a family through that, spread the calm as there's a lot going on and a lot to manage far away from family and all those things?
Yeah. First thing is the same discipline you experience in the military. You're going to have to up it. You're going to have to up it. You're going to have to build your schedule way more militant. And that meaning, dude, you got to get up before everybody. That's the first piece. I say is your wife can't be up before you. Not going to happen. I don't think you'll be able to do it, because and the reason why is you need time to get yourself correct. So when they get up, you can be present and don't feel rushed. And because a lot of times when guys don't feel like they're getting done what they need to get done, we take it out on others, not consciously or maybe directly, but even subconscious energy. And fish stink from the head. You're the head of the household. When you're not in a good state, it bleeds down. And whether you just come in and you don't say anything, but your wife feels your energy, the kids feel the energy, they all feel dad's energy. And so you need to maintain your frequency and your vibrational state high. That being, make sure you're getting your training in, make sure you're getting your nutrition in. It doesn't have to be perfect, and you gotta have to pivot and be able to adapt, right? We're not robots. Anything really strong has the ability to have some sway. And then hold yourself accountable, right? Don't be reactive. Always work on the anger piece, which is a lot of us men need to work out. Like, maintain that as much as possible. The more you hold yourself to a higher standard of communication and daily habits, the better you're going to be, because you're going to feel better about yourself, and you'll feel at least a level of control when there's still a lot of shit going on. You move in, baby, this and that. And on the professional side, because you're going to be moving into a different profession, bro, be a star, right? Crush it, do extremely well, and then don't worry about the future. It will all work itself out when you're good, you're holding yourself to a higher standard, and you're performing. Then just trust the process. Because if you're doing those things correct, man, it's going to work out good for you.
Yep. Yeah.
Good word. Appreciate it.
Yeah, brother.
Tyler,
Good shit, man. Thank you for your service, bro. Enjoy this time too, man. Enjoy this time getting out. It's great, man. You're gonna have your autonomy back. You're gonna have ability. It's a beautiful thing when you get out, in that you really have the ability to structure your life how you want it. It's a very powerful thing, and I found it to be extremely enjoyable.
Yeah. And that's something you'll have to get used to, controlling your, right? So that's exactly what he's saying. It's getting started on that early in the day. I like that, man. And that, controlling the temperature in the household as dad, like, chaos is contagious, but calm is too, right? So if you're dramatic calm, man, that's contagious for the rest of the fam.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good stuff, Tyler. Good.
No, appreciate it, y'all. Thank you.
Mr. Toland, speaking of Idaho.
Yeah, Mr. Cavanaugh, man. Thanks for taking the time with us. Beaudreau, thanks for making this happen, man.
Yeah, honor.
Good. I appreciate the good word, man.
Yeah, man. Well, I've been following you since I saw you on Mike Ritland's.
Okay,
and
nice.
Saw you hook up with Andy, and kind of got to see another layer of you, even though you talked about some of the same things. So that was super great. So I come from Ada County, so I know you left a piece of yourself here. So so I have a couple questions. The first one is, I heard you talk about on the podcast with Andy that you are a big chess player, and obviously you are not what the book cover shows us oftentimes. So I am curious, where did the chess piece come from, and how does that help you, like in your daily life, working with like your mind, stretching your mind that way? How has that helped you kind of shift your life perspective?
I'd say it's really humbling, because I was getting my cheeks beat by some 16-year-old Chinese girl. I started playing at like 5, really young, and I've just played pretty consistently since then. And I like blitz games. I don't have hours to spend. And so I just like it as the mental exercise. And so I'll play blitz games of 5-10 minutes, maybe a couple, and that'll be it. It's just, I find it just to be a side useful tool to like stimulate a part of your brain that we just kind of maybe lays dormant while we're doing other stuff. And it's just that side mathematical piece that I think is just helpful. And so that's how I use it. I more use it as just like exercise, just brain exercise to just tickle a part of your brain that it probably is not getting touched.
One of the other things that you talked about when you went to the Legion was, you give up your identity, right? They effectively kind of wipe you off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, as you were kind of looking for that, all right, like this is my last resort. Like I got to go. I need money. No one else is going to take me. Like, what was it like to have your identity as you've known it all the way up to that point be wiped away? And what was it like kind of rebuilding yourself in that space?
It felt kind of healing. And I remember it specifically when I was going into like the actual selection process. There's a lot of sitting around, right? There's a lot of like sitting around. Guys that have been in the military know, and this is just kind of an extended version of that where they're processing you. And it felt like knowing my name was taken away and I was there and nobody knew I was there. And my whole responsibility was to sit and shut the fuck up. I had no other requirement other than just to sit and perform on some things when I needed to. And there was something healing about that because I just felt like I was running a million miles an hour, being on drugs and just Adderall and amphetamines. And I felt like my brain was healing, for lack of a better word, of like just the calm and the quiet and the lack of stimulus was helpful. And then knowing that I was going into that process and it was just about what was in front of my feet and not what was behind me, that was helpful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mr. Tolan, I like that question, man. And I think it's interesting, man, because that's stripping away the identity. We say this all the time. You're under no obligation to be the same Eric Tolan at the end of this freaking call. Never mind, next month, next year, right? You're under no obligation,
I like that.
Right? You can decide that looks different. And what holds us back is this attachment we have, whatever emotional, to this current identity that you've got, right? And if I change this person's going to be pissed, or this is going to change, or my illusion of certainty over here, right, is going to be dissolved, right? It's all of that. And in some ways, what he's talking about is a gift. It's like, no, cool, it's stripped away, and now we rebuild something. Maybe that's a gift. Maybe that's not a bad thing.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Yeah, because some of the old identity was not useful anymore. Yeah. And what have helped you in a previous chapter kill you in the next, and this old identity of what maybe had gotten me through some things was starting to kill me. It was just starting to break me down. And so I had to regenerate and recreate. And there's a lot of power in being able to rebuild with the pieces that are only useful.
Yeah, that's really good. What do you think, Mr. Tolan?
Yeah. Last question I have for you, Taylor, and that is great, is I was hoping what I had heard was true, and it sounds like the little trip you took to Kootenai County, that's actually where you're going to be landing. And I'm actually there. I'm there about every 6 to 8 weeks or so, and I've been debating possibly doing some work with you. Are you going to be setting something up where I could potentially connect with you in like the greater Spokane or Coeur d'Alene or whatever?
Yeah, bro. Yeah. So any guys that are on my program and they're in town and I do this here or up there, I say, stop in. We'll do some workout sessions. And I always meet up with any guys I'm working with. I go, well, I have different gyms up there already kind of set up, and we'll link up, man, and do the business.
Love it.
Yeah. Yeah. I love linking up with guys because it's a different energy. You get that energy exchange of getting to meet somebody, right? You get to kind of exchange on a different level. And I really like that human connection.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you, Mr. Cavanaugh, man. Good to chat with you face to face.
Dude. I'd love that.
Absolutely. Thanks, Mr. Beaudreau.
Yes, sir. Beautiful. Mr. Speck. Another California transplant right there.
Hey, Taylor. Nice to meet you. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, brother. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, it's interesting to hear that you worked with Wes Watson a while ago. Like Matt said, we had him on here, and I think that mentor, they had so much discussion about Wes,
Yeah.
He's an interesting character. You know, I follow him on social media. Some stuff he says, I love it. You know, he's talking about, you know, getting your frequency right, getting aligned with the universe. He talks about God a lot, talks about a lot of really good things. But at the same time, then he's talking about men with bitch tits and how they're motherfuckers and stuff like that. I'm like, dude, do you have to do that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
Like, maybe if he didn't do that, he wouldn't be as good. I don't know, but yeah, he's a trip for sure. But I'm glad you got to work with him and you had a good experience with that. That's really cool.
Yeah. He's got his piece, man, and it's like he could always, and we all have areas we can improve, right? And he's also a piece, and then I like this concept of most people I engage with, I don't agree with 100% of what they have to say, right? Sure. I think it would be weird or how they say it, and I always think it's weird that like, yeah, but this, and you go, yeah, but who cares, right? It's like I understand where he's coming from, and part of it's performative, right? I mean, that's part of it too. And so there's this piece that you kind of dance with, and you get the bad with the good with that.
Yeah. I think we just like with anybody, like with the West too. It's like you take what you like, you take the good stuff, and then you just kind of leave the rest, you know?
Yeah, you know, it's like there's a lot of value in the good stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure. The question I had for you on the call, you talked a lot about like starting your day right, eating right, getting moving, and how important that is to, you know, just become a better version of you. What do you do with clients after that? What do you recommend after that? Say somebody's waking up early, they're hitting the gym, they're doing everything right, they're eating right. I mean, that's obviously not the whole thing. So I was just curious. You didn't talk much about, you know, what's after that. Say they got that dialed and everything's good. What do you think's the next thing that's most important?
Next is the professional part, right? That's the next part. Yeah, next is the professional part, because usually as men, it's like if their daily structures and their habits, you got to get that first. Yeah. That's like important, right? So they're actually moving through the day in the right frame and right frequency. And then the next part is I ask people, what do you want? What the fuck do you want? What life do you want? And so a lot of it is morning processes, visualization is what I teach. Mindset, visualization. What? Designing your life. What the fuck does that actually mean? Are you living in the place you want to live? Are you doing what you want to do? Are you engaged in the relationships you want to be? If none of those things are right, then you're not going to feel good. So what do you want? And that you might not know tomorrow morning. People I work with, I go, but set the scene in getting up right and experiencing it during those God's hours, those early morning hours, if you can. But you have to set some time to really figure this shit out. You're not going to figure it out driving in the car and dealing with stuff. You need to, it's so important. It's your life you're designing. Set some time aside for it. Then it's goal setting, the physical, financial, the personal, actually writing these things down, writing dates with them. So a lot of it is goal setting. Goal setting, visualization, and getting clear of actually what port you're sailing to. Yeah. Because if you're floating with no rudder, you're fucked. You know, you could, as we see, there's people in the gym, great bodies, dog shit lives. Yeah. So it's not about just the physical, right? Or even daily physical habits. There's another piece. And also there's a faith piece, right? That's how I think of it. But I don't like push exactly where people go. I go, but there is a piece you need to tap into that's on a much deeper level. And so you have to open up yourself to these possibilities and these channels and these energies to really kind of be shown these things. You don't got to seek it, right? It will be shown to you when you start setting the frame right.
Yeah, no, that's good stuff. A lot of which I'm a big fan of Napoleon Hill and Joe Dispenza. When you were describing that, I picked some things. Yeah, Joe Dispenza is kind of all about that, and you know, Napoleon Hill is kind of about this. Yeah. I try to do Joe Dispenza's meditation every day. I need to get better at it. I'm probably about, you know, a few days a week, but that's been really helpful for
pretty good
for visualizing the future that you want, you know. And then having that created for you. So
that's the fun part. Yeah, that's the fun part. I go, dude, this is the fun part. You can be scared and still excited.
Yep.
Right. You can be excited. You want to be excited about what you're designing.
Yeah.
About building this life you want for yourself and your family. Picture yourself in a year. What do you want to look like? What about 5? Right. You don't need to know exactly how, but if you focus on the who in that process, the how and the what becomes very, very clear.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Last question for you. Do you ever work a 12-step program? Are you currently working one? What are your thoughts on that?
No. I mean,
Okay.
I've been to a lot of court-ordered 12 AA meetings, and NA meetings. I've been to many, hundreds.
Yeah.
And so but no, I haven't worked worked the steps or those pieces. I've kind of just, that just, it wasn't really my angle, but it has a lot of benefit for a lot of guys that I've known.
Yeah. No, I was curious. My background's similar to yours in ways. I have a history of addiction. I didn't get kicked out of the military. I got kicked out of pharmacy. Due to that. And I'm, I still go to meetings occasionally, but there's some people who are like, you got to work the steps, you got to get to the sponsor. I'm like, I think there's other ways I could improve myself and, become a better person without doing that and being around all that. So,
and this isn't a hit on anybody, because I actually think it is. I actually have a client who's designing something new. He was in prison, heroin addict, and he just was really resistant to the 12 step. But he calls it like a harm reduction. And then, you're in recovery or the minute you decide you are.
Yeah.
Right. Sure. And if once you're starting to do the right shit, there's a lot of ways to skin this cat. And that's why, I mean, that 12 steps is a 100-year-old technology. Right. Mm-hmm. And it's very structured in a certain way, a lot of power dynamics, and those things can get weird if they're kind of like allowed to. And so it's, are you good or not?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I reject the fact that if somebody goes, hey, if you don't know do the 12 steps, you're going to relapse. Well, fuck you. How the fuck do you know what the fuck I'm going to do? Right. And I don't like spending a lot of my time focusing on what I don't want. Because also staying sober is not the goal. That's the piece. That's just the fraction. I was like, the goal is massive success and thriving in a life. I go, because I've seen so many guys in AA meetings who are sober for 30 years, fucking miserable.
Yep.
No thanks.
100%.
That's not what I'm trying to do. So I always say, yes, go with your heart, man, and your gut. What works and what doesn't. If it's working, great. If it's not, change it.
Cool. Good stuff, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Back. I mean, he's talking about what we talked about, right? Definition of terms, right? Defining the what is it that you want? If you don't know what, that's so weird that we don't spend the time on that, right? Because if you don't know what you want, then you'll always go back to wanting what you know, just because it's familiar.
Yeah, that's true.
That what's familiar becomes what's true for you. But it's like, okay, but what do you actually want outside of what's familiar? I love that. And then the whole conversation, about Wes and all that. I mean, 100%. All of us on here, if we took everybody collectively, we probably all agree on 85, 90% of stuff. We probably do. And we can find that 10% and we can sit there and fricking be Bloods and Crips versus and just like hate each other.
Yeah.
Cool, man. I want to understand your perspective. You understand mine, and we're all good. It's that.
Yeah.
So, it's good stuff, man. Gee.
Mr. Cavanaugh, thanks for your time today.
Yeah, thank you, brother.
My question revolves around the morning routine, waking up specific time, setting that standard for the day. As a first responder who works 48-hour shifts, and we know how detrimental sleep deprivation can be.
Yeah.
How do you change that on the fly depending on a night? Or do you ever work with first responders and have any insight into that on how to prioritize that or change that on the fly?
Yep. I got a call with one right after this, one of my clients. And so he does like 3-day shifts, ton of oil field guys, ton of SWAT guys, first responders. It's less important about the time, even though I do think that morning time is special, those hours, but really it's about wake up time, right? You got to get your sleep in. I say definitely try to be shooting for 6, 5.5, 6. If you're going less than that for multiple days, you're going to start dragging ass. Ideally probably 7 or something like that. But if that's not possible, when you're waking up, give yourself deliberate time. Doesn't need to be 2-hour biohacking bullshit, but 15 minutes, right? Sitting centered. And the most important thing is don't look at this fucking thing when you get up. Don't look at this fucking phone. That is the first deliberate act when you can not look at your phone and allow yourself to wake up in a deliberate way and get cool, get centered, move a little bit, visualize. That can be 5 fucking minutes, really. 10, 15, ideally like 20 or something. But that frame right there is so important. Drink your coffee and just sit. Don't look at this thing, right? Get clear of where you're at, where you're heading, stretch, move a little bit. That right there is more important than the time that you're getting up.
Cool. Yeah, that helps.
Yeah. First responders, you guys have a hard time too because you're fighting an uphill battle with circadian rhythm. right? They're just facts, dude. You're up night. We're really not designed to be up like that. So doing what you can and pulling a little bit of control back is what's helpful. Just a fraction of that control of being able to control your wake up time and giving yourself a little bit of that centered energy. And, whether it's just be kind of doing a couple rounds of push-ups or stretching or something, and centered and cool and calm, gratitude, little prayer, then you're setting your day off, is so helpful.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
It's good.
Thanks for your service, bro. Dude, be safe out there.
Thank you.
Mr. Brian Walsh.
Mr. Cavanaugh, sir, thank you for your time.
What up, man?
I did miss a little bit of it.
You're good.
The first part. So
you're gonna ask about Jean-Claude Van Damme. Don't. I already exhausted all the Jean-Claude Van Damme questions. So
I missed it.
Yeah, dude, you missed it.
That's all right. I can go back to the recording.
That's right.
As I was feverishly writing some notes, I had a question, it got answered. I had a question, it got answered. I had a question, it got answered. So I was trying to figure out what my fifth or sixth question would be, and I have it.
Yeah.
So again, I love everything, and I believe everything happens for a reason, because I have been falling off of my morning schedule. I built it up to about, getting up with, I would say, deliberate time. I didn't necessarily call it that, but when I get up at 4:15, and I have my little routine that I've built into 20, 30 minutes. And when I'm on it, I'm on fire. And I've honestly fallen off. I could make any number of excuses. You gave some things to get back on, get back on track. But I would say, like, my biggest hurdle, and hopefully some other people think this too, I think of the saying, like, being like water. Today's a perfect example. I got up, I was able to get my routine, I was able to get some momentum in, workout in, all of these things, and then boom, one of my kids is sick. And throws my whole schedule off. So again, I'm kind of like being like water today. Like I said, I missed this call. Everything's a little, I missed the first little bit of this call. Everything's a little bit like that. But, being able to adjust on the fly, I get it. But what tends to happen with me is, obviously dealing with the way the day not going the way that I wanted it to, and being flexible. But I don't know if you have any suggestions as far as dealing with that stress, because that's where I struggle, because it's like, okay, then one thing, then another, and it's that snowball. By the end of the day, I'm just, I got nothing left.
Yeah, you're fighting acceptance. This is usually what it is. It's and we go back to the word deliberate. Be deliberate about the decision that this is going to be a day where you're pivoting and you're being fluid. Not fighting it, trying to still make it this standard structured day you have. It's not happening. It started off not that way. And that's important when you realize quickly your kid's sick, you go, this is going to be a day I'm become the pot. Mm-hmm. This is the day and let go of that beautiful idea that you had about this perfectly structured day, because it's gone. And a lot of it is just acceptance and not trying to hold on to this old idea of the day. Let it go, cut it away. I'm going to do as good as I can today. I'm going to be deliberate. I'm going to stay present. I'm going to handle the things I need to, understanding that this day is not going to be how I envisioned it. That right there will just cut the guilt about you not getting done. It's just giving yourself some grace in understanding that, and being clear about what this day is going to be.
Yeah.
Adapt. Just do it quick too. Don't even when you see the kid sick and he's like, oh, he's not going to be feeling good today. You go, all right, shifting gears right now. I'm going to shift psychologically into what this day is going to be, and I'm going to make it as best I can. And that's as good as you can do.
I got you muted on there, B-Dub. I didn't mean to.
No, yeah, that's perfect. So basically what you're saying is let it go.
Let it go. Don't be stressed about it, because it's not the day. It's not the day, right? You're going to live to fight another one.
Yeah,
and
brother.
you maintaining your energy throughout is important because you only have so much bandwidth. If you're still mad about the day and you're like, oh, this isn't the, you're just expending energy that is just use that's so use that you need.
Yeah.
Identify what you can do, be present for your kid in the way that you know you need to. Go, okay, and then just become the pot, like Bruce Lee said, right? Be water. You're gonna have to flow with it. Don't try to steer the river. It's not gonna happen, right? The river is the reality of the situation of the day. So flow with it and navigate it as best you can. Boom.
Yeah.
Come to the end of the day. Come to the end of the river with as much energy saved as you can. You can have.
Kind of a fast track. I'm not a big, hack guy or anything. More of like a habit stack thing, but that being in the moment definitely helps. And I'm a man of action. So if I can be present in the moment and kiss my wife, hug my kid, that puts me into that, into that zone. So that
tap
makes
back
sense.
into the gratitude. Hey man, you're like, well, thank God I'm here to take care of my kid.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just tapping back into the reality. Well, thank God it's me that's here. Right.
Yeah.
Versus, I'm gone and I can't handle this right now. Boom. Because now you're tapping back into that important frequency of gratitude, and that keeps you present.
Yeah.
Right?
I get to do this. I get to do this.
Yeah. I'm here and good. Thank God it's me, not somebody else here.
Yeah.
I mean, B-Dub, is marriage has just been perfect. There's never been a problem. And parenting's now every workout you've ever had, dude, it's all perfect. Hey, guess what? Looks like there's no such thing, including just an individual day, right? So that in advance.
Yeah.
I mean, you understand that that's not going to go perfectly, and so some days it's just a little less perfect than others. All right, that's just part of the design too, man.
Yeah, and just again, accepting it, being deliberate about it, like what do I have to hold on to? What was so important? Honestly, it's me wanting to get stuff done, and it's like, that stuff might be important, but again, compared to what?
Yeah, and the truth is, you'll still get it done. It's just going to be a little bit later than you thought.
They'll just change it.
They'll just change it. Yeah.
That's right. Oh, that's awesome, man. I know we're coming up to the end of the hour here, man. This is super fun. So you're going up to Northern Idaho. Is that where you're going to like Cody, like Alfred and
just south of him. Just Coeur d'Alene. Yep. Similar area.
Yep. Cool, man. Yeah, it's a great freaking spot, man. So rad. So dude, what are you excited to build? Where does everybody find you? How do we best come along and support you? Final things on our side, because I know we're coming to the end of the hour, man. But
yeah, man, I'm going to keep cranking on this coaching. I do everything one-on-one. I really get a lot of fulfillment out of that right now. And so finishing the book. So maybe they'll have a series app, which would be cool. And everybody can get a hold of me on my website, taylorcavanaugh.com. I don't outsource anything, no AI, no shit. So all that contact form goes right to my personal email. I designed it. My YouTube, Taylor Cavanaugh, where I kind of dive into those deeper principles. I do everything one take, no edits, by design, and some gym footage, gym sessions, working out with different guys around San Diego and the country. And my Instagram, TCavOfficial, where I do like my daily stuff and some of the chop stuff. But yeah, man, my website's the best way for people to get a hold of me direct, Taylor Cavanaugh.
Beautiful, man. Well, obviously we'll link all that stuff. We'll tag as we make clips and all this, but man, we're here as an entire organization, man. We got your back, whatever that looks like.
I love y'all. You got a really good perspective here, and everybody on this call, man, you're all in the right frame. That top 1% of men are doing this stuff. Yeah, the rest of the bottom 99, the gap will start to become very clear. The further and further we all take accountability for what we're doing, how we're thinking, how we're moving, who we're engaging with.
Dude, could not agree more. Yeah, and I'm hopeful to get out to Idaho this year too. TJ White and Cody, they're talking about a campus, one of our campuses potentially up there too. And so we're gonna
be sick, man.
Visiting, man. So we're excited, man. We'll see what we can do. So, brother, we have got your 6. I'm gonna take these guys through a debrief here for an hour or so. Cool. And, I'll reach back out a little later, but whatever we can do, we got your back, man. I appreciate you so much.
Hey, love y'all. Crush it today.
Hell yeah. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
We got one life. Let's do it. Out here.